Y'all, in 1 year, we lost savings, investments, 2 paid off cars, 1 total loss, 1 was able to be salvaged, okay? We lost everything we knew in 1 season. And so this is honestly for the person that is like, I am starting over and I don't know what to do. Whether you're starting over at age 30, at age 40, let's talk about it, because I'm going to share with you what I learned as a financial coach. What? Financial? Yes. Okay. I want to share with you, as I learned as a financial coach, how we navigated and how we're still navigating coming out of that season. Let's talk about it.
When I think about his grace, his freedom, something like a woman prays. I'm grateful for the loving that you gave.
Hey y'all, I'm McLean, a business coach, fractional CFO, financial coach, all the different things. I'm a mama, I'm a wife, I'm a youth pastor, a little bit of everything, okay? Let's jump into it, because this channel is all about talking about ministry, marriage, money, and motivation. We like to call it the M Quad. So let's just jump into what we're talking about today, okay? So I want to take you back to 2024. April 2024, April 30th to be exact, I walked into a team meeting in Raleigh, and our entire department got gutted. Like literally, we drove up there. I drove up there. I drove up there thinking we are having a team meeting to talk about the next quarter, right? No. So we all lost our jobs that day. That was my first time in my life losing my job. I had never been laid off before, so that was something that was interesting. And you go through like this full journey of like, you know, how dare they versus like, oh my gosh, I'm so liberated, I could do these things or whatever. So I'm literally in the meeting while HR is talking about us losing our jobs. And I text my husband, took a picture of the pack and was like, I think this is crazy. I'm losing my job right now. And so my husband is like, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it. I got the house. You focus on the businesses. I'm like, say, let's talk to me. Okay. Talk to me nice for real. So he goes to really take on the house or whatever, the bills. But if you know, listen, I'm a financial coach. I said that. I'm a financial coach. So I was not prepared for this level of like, okay, navigating and maneuvering and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So, I was still nervous, but I was like, okay, went into the business full force. If you know me, you know full force is all that I know. Okay. And then October of that same year, my husband's company, which is a total different state, he's working remotely for a total different company. His company does what's called a restructuring, and they got rid of all of the managers, and he was a manager, and he lost his job. Same year. And so you got 2 people in one household with 2 really good incomes just completely wiped out. Okay, same year. So then my unemployment had already ended. Okay, I was getting unemployment, it ended. His unemployment ended January. Okay, he did not get employed until July, the end of July. So he didn't get his first paycheck until August of 2025. Mind you, this was just last year. So this wasn't years ago, y'all. So he got his job. And first paycheck in August. So that was almost 8 months without any traditional income. 8 months. 8 months. So for you wondering like, well, what happened with your savings and your investments? I am so grateful to the Lord that we did have savings and investments and all of that. The paid off cars, let me tell you a little bit about that. We walked out one day. I'm going to put the picture up so y'all can see how damaging it was. We walked out one day, about to go to do drop off for school. He's about to go to the gym, all the things. And I just see him run out and say, oh my God. And we both run out there and both of our cars are completely demolished. Back part of it. His car was total loss. Now these are 2 paid off cars, not finance paid off. Okay. And you know, listen, graciously, we still kept full coverage insurance on both of them. So we were able to go through the whole claims process, but his car was total lost completely. So we lost a car. And then my car was luckily able to be fixed, but graciously, we were still functioning off of savings and investments that we were able to pay the deductibles. So that's $1,000, $500 each car. Like, y'all, I'm talking about. Okay. So I just had to set the scene that I know what it's like to start over financially. Like when you look at your savings and investment accounts and you're like, oh, like when you look at you're like, oh. Because there was a season where it was like, okay, slush here, there, do what you want. We got it, whatever. And now it's season, I'm like, so as far as groceries, okay? So I just want to let you know, it is a thing of when it don't matter, financial coach, it don't matter. I had to literally begin to implement the material and the teaching that I had taught people over and over and over again. Like I literally had sat down with many couples and individuals and helped them come up with a financial plan. I had to lean heavily on that in order to get us back to, and we're not even fully there. Okay, so let's just be clear. We're not all the way there. Okay, we're navigating this. All I'm saying is it can be difficult when you are teaching others and you're like, what's happening here? But I am grateful that I even had the knowledge to lean on. So I want to talk about 5 things that I learned when it came to starting over. So 5 moves financially that actually work when it comes to starting over financially. Number 1, stop the bleeding before you make a plan. This is so huge, y'all. Listen, when I lost, or when we lost, because I lost and he lost. But the first thing I did when income shifted was I did an audit, right, on all the money that was set up, because all of our bills were set up on auto pay and all these things. And if you don't have an automatic deposit coming in, then baby, how are we going to have an automatic transfer going out, right? So the first thing I did was an audit of like, let me pull up the bank statement, let me pull up everything and figure out what's going out and highlight those things that are set up on reoccurring. And some of the stuff I had to pause. Some of the stuff I had to just take off auto pay and really just kind of create a plan around it. So the first thing is to stop the bleeding. A lot of times when we're in crisis situation, we want to create a budget and all of that. No, stop the hemorrhage. Okay, you have to get off of a leaky foundation in order to create a plan that works. And we cannot go and create this huge plan, this massive plan, if we are still bleeding. The foundation is off. So one of the things that I learned is to really look at everything at face value. Over the next 30 days, what is it that we need to go ahead and pause? What is it that we need to stop completely? So one practical tip that I would give right here is to go ahead and pull your bank statement. And if you're in this season as well, and you're like, or you already hemorrhaging, you're in a place where you're like, I need to start over financially, go ahead and pull your bank statement and then highlight at least 3 transactions that may be reoccurring that you don't need. It may be super small, it may be like $10 or whatever, but you don't need it. Right? And figure out how to go ahead and get those canceled so that you can at least start to save that money each month. But the biggest thing to understand here is that we cannot move to creating a true plan if we do not stop the bleeding first. Okay. One of the biggest things I want to say here is a budget is a plan for your money. We know that, but you cannot plan your way out of a crisis until you stop the crisis first. So you have to stop the bleeding and then make a plan. That's number 1. Okay, we got to stop the bleeding. We got to create a plan in order to make sure that we are building on a solid foundation. Number 2, I want you to grieve it and then release it. Grieve it and then release it. Y'all, I want to talk about this real quick because I don't believe that I have heard anybody, specifically in the financial space, but anybody talk about this, right? They're always talking about the budget plans, the money, the this, the that, all the tactical stuff. But a lot of times we are not focusing on the mental and the emotional stuff that happens when we're in that season. And so let's just think about the emotional weight of losing a job that you've built, you planned things around it and all of that. Let's think about the emotional weight of losing a car that you did not expect. You just woke up and one day it's gone. Like you just got to figure it out. Let's talk about the emotional weight of losing savings and investment accounts that you've built, and you've had a season or seasons of discipline that you literally have watched be built over time, and then in an instance, in one season, that they're all eradicated. Let's talk about that, right? Because a part of you is really processing the fact that what you saw and what you planned in your head is not really what's happening in reality. We got to deal with that. We can't jump straight to let's create a budget sheet. That's all tactical stuff. But there is an emotional weight that I really want to deal with, because the biggest thing that I want you to understand is you experienced a loss. If nobody has told you this, if nobody has held your hand through this, I want to hold your hand through this. Friend, you experienced a loss. And as devastating as it may be, people are still expecting you to move forward. And I want you to take a pause, just a moment, to grieve the loss and then release it. I'm going to tell you, in that season, I struggled because I did not realize how much control I leaned in, because I like things to be my way or whatever, and how much faith was built in that season, because I did not know where everything was going to come from. I didn't know how bills were going to. The bills didn't stop, chat. Okay? The bills didn't stop. So it built a faith muscle of where I was literally like, God, what's up? Like if I'm your stepchild, just say that. If you really don't like me, just tell me, like, what's up? When this gonna shift? Like, when something gonna shake? So I will be honest that it was a really difficult season, and my prayer life looked different, because I was constantly like, okay, like, what? Okay, I want to learn what it is that you want me to learn in this season. I'm not asking for you to take me out of this. I'm just asking that while I'm in this, that you teach me what it is I need to learn. And what I learned is that my faith was in my resources, and it wasn't necessarily in the source. Let me just be honest. My faith was in my job and in my promotions and in my money and in my savings and all of this. And I said it wasn't. That season showed me it was. That I didn't lean as much on the source because I felt like my resources was carrying me. And it wasn't until he snatched all the resources that I was like, oh, wait, come back. Like, I need you. So he really revealed to me where my faith, where it lied. Like, I literally was sitting in the fact that I was like, I'm okay. Like, I pray, I talk to you, whatever. We love each other real bad. We go together. But at the end of the day, I did not realize how much I leaned on my resources. I do want to give you this point, okay? I want you to practically do this. Write out everything that you lost. Just write it out. Write it out. The goal is not to dwell on it. It's not to dwell on it. It's not to sit in that. I'm telling you. But the goal really in this season, friend, is to name it. You have to name it. You got to call it outside. You got to call it out loud. You got to say it, okay? Because you cannot release what you have not acknowledged. You can't release it. If you can't acknowledge that you lost your job, if you can't acknowledge that you lost a relationship, if you can't name that you lost a friend or whatever the case is, you can't name that you lost money. If you cannot name that, then you cannot release that. And some of us are stuck because we have not acknowledged what we've lost, and we are in depression today because we will not acknowledge it, okay? So I want you to write it down. I want you to pray over it. I want you to then write beside each thing that you wrote down that you lost, what God is building in that place. So for instance, for me, I lost a job, but God was building my character as a business owner in that place. He was building my trust to trust him as a leader, right? And so I can write that beside it. So whatever you lost, make sure beside it you write, okay, well, what is God building instead? Okay, in place of that thing. And even if you can't see it, I want you to write it in faith. Even if you don't know what God is building in that place, I want you to write what you believe he's building, what you believe he could build. Okay, even if you don't know it today. Here is the last thing I want to leave with you. You are allowed to grieve what you lost. I don't care what nobody said. I don't care. Your mama, your pastor, your therapist. You're allowed to grieve what you lost, but you are not allowed to stay there. You're not. You're allowed to grieve it, but you're not allowed to sit there. You're not allowed to soak there. You're not allowed to get lost there. That's not what you're allowed to do. Grief, I need you to understand, is a passage. It is not a residence. Okay? It's a passage. So it's a way through. It's not where you land. Okay? I want you to feel it. I want you to release it. And then I need you to take the next step. Okay? So grieve it and then release it. Let's go to number 3. Number 3. Rebuild your foundation, not your former life. That's important. That's so important, y'all. Let me tell you, a lot of times what I have seen people do is in this season where they've lost everything and now they're getting back to a place of rebuilding, they try to rebuild exactly like it was before. Like they want to build, I had a car before, let me get a car that's a newer year. I had a house before, let me get a car. I had a man before, let me get a man that was kind of, that life, whatever, right? And we try to rebuild that life that we had before the storm hit. And what I will tell you with coaching people financially, they just got an insurance check, they just got inheritance or whatever, that have followed that methodology, that they have literally built the former life, is that within 2 years, they're back where they were. They are literally back, in a lot of cases, in a worse position because they try to take on that former life. Here's what I need you to understand. After losing 2 incomes, investments, and savings and all that, there was a temptation to recreate what was lost. There was a temptation to recreate what we lost. But I want to challenge you, as I am also challenging myself, is that the lesson in this is to build differently. It is to build differently, not just rebuild. You don't want it to look like what it looked like before the storm happened. The move in this journey is to build the foundation first. Build solid. Don't try to be like the Joneses. Don't try to flex. Don't. This time, build your emergency fund before your lifestyle. So make sure that worst come to worst, you got a good savings nest egg. You got a good investment account that's built up. You want to make sure you build cash flow before life upgrades. Like if you don't have cash flow, you should not have a new car. If you don't have cash flow, you should not be going on no trip, no cruise, no nothing. Okay. So practical tip right here. I want you to identify one foundational financial habit that you did not have before the setback that you are now building. A habit, not a goal, because those are two different things. One habit that you did not have before that crisis hit. I want you to list that out, because habits are really the foundation. It could be every pay period, now I am putting $20 aside in my savings account, which I never did that before. It could be I am now checking my credit score. Whatever it is, okay? Whatever it is, I do need you to do that, okay? Feelings, when it comes to this, you gotta look at the fact that your feelings in this season don't really matter. You've grieved it. Now you're rebuilding. Don't go back to what your feelings told you, because you'll be back in that same position. Last moment with this is stop trying to get back to where you were. Where you were is what the storm took. That's what the storm took that. Don't go back there. Build something the storm cannot take next time. That's what I want you to do. When you rebuild, I want you to build something that the storm cannot take. That is not starting over. That is starting right. Okay? That is starting right. So number 3, you're at a place where you do not rebuild what was just taken from you. All right? Move number 4, use what you know, not what you feel. Y'all, this is a big one, because I have helped people financially manage their life and rebuild their lives after big things like the loss of a loved one, of a spouse, or a divorce, or, just a big life event or change that happened. And one of the biggest things I will say is that with every one of those type of situations, there is an emotional weight that's attached to it. And your feelings does matter, okay? Let me just say that. But your feelings are not a good financial coach. Your feelings will try to push you into a place of fear. Your feelings will try to push you into a place of overthinking. Your feelings will try to push you into a place of doubt. Your feelings will try to make you feel not confident or competent enough to handle yourself in this season. And I have sat across from people that because their feelings were all over the place, they were financially unstable to make big decisions. So I want to let you know that use what you know, not what you feel. Okay. Here is a practical step that you can do in this season, because I know what it was like when I felt all over the place. I didn't feel confident. I felt like, how can I be coaching people if we're struggling financially? Like, we're in a season that didn't change the knowledge. That didn't change the information. It's just the biggest thing that your feelings will lie to you and will tell you you're not equipped with what you're equipped with. And that's what we don't want to do. We do not want to follow our feelings. So practical step is to write down 3 things you know to be financially true that your feelings are fighting and arguing against. Post it somewhere visible, okay? 3 things that you know to be financially true that your feelings are arguing with. You may say, I know to financially be true that I will someday be debt free, or I know that I will get out of this season, or whatever. But your feelings are telling you that, baby, you will not be debt free. You still gonna owe them student loans. Like, whatever it is, create something that will combat it and put it where it is visible, okay? So when the feelings hit, because they will, when those feelings hit, you can actually read the truth and then act on the truth, okay? I really want to make sure you are aware that your feelings are real. They are so real, friend. They're real. They're real. They are just not qualified to manage your money. They're not. They're not. And if they're managing your money right now, I can guarantee you they're doing a terrible job. So use what you know and not what you feel. So that is point number 4. Move number 4. Use what you know, not what you feel. Let's go to point number 5, and we're about to close it out. Move number 5. I need you to decide that this is not the end of your story. This is not the end of your story. I want to make sure you are aware that the single most powerful financial move you can make after a setback has nothing to do with money. Can I just say that? It ain't got nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with how you bounce back. You are resilient. You have been through so much and you made it on the other side of that, friend. So I just need you to know that you can make it on the other side of this. I want to make sure you're aware that I have not arrived. If you would wait for me to say, like, I am flying to the, girl, bye. Okay, I have not arrived. We are literally currently today still rebuilding. And I need you to understand that you are not by yourself. If you are in the place where you're still rebuilding, you are not behind. A lot of us, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, we think that it's just too late, that, we get in this place of like shoulda, coulda, wouldas and all of that. And that's doing nothing for you. You are not behind. You're right where you need to be to rebuild. Okay, I just had to say that. You will recover. The people who never recover are not the ones who lost the most. Okay, let's just let that sit in your spirit. They are the ones who decided that the loss was the final word. So if you sit here and you'll be like, I can't rebuild, this was the worst of the worst of the worst, then you have made this your end, and that's it. You literally are convincing yourself that this is it for me. And I need you to know that I am still rebuilding, and so can you. This is not a testimony from the other side of the mountain. It's not a testimony from the middle. It's not like I've arrived. It is literally, I am in mid-climb. We are still trugging up that mountain. So I want you to recognize from somebody that knows I am not at a place where I'm like, we've arrived. We're not there. So you need to know that the biggest thing that separates you from the other person is the fact that you will not quit. I'm not quitting. Baby, if you wait for me to throw in the towel, I need you to keep waiting. Okay? So Jeremiah 29:11, we know that verse, and if not, I'll put it on the screen. But it is not it was not a verse for people who had already arrived. If you really look at that verse, it is a verse for people that were in the midst of exile. That means they were in the midst of transition from everything that they knew. Okay. And so in the midst of transition, in the middle of a season that did not make freaking sense. Me today don't make sense. Okay. But God does not give you that promise after the storm. He didn't give you the promise that you'll get to the other side after the storm. He gave it to you while you were in the middle of the storm. Okay, that's what he did. So I want you to do this. I want you to write this down, and I want you to put it somewhere. I want you to write down, this is not my ending. This is my material. This is not my ending. This is my material, because everything you're walking through right now is building the testimony, is building the woman, is building the wisdom, and it is building the credibility that will help someone else find their way out. Your setback is not wasted. It is helping you to be prepared. I just had to say that. So number 5, I want you to recognize that I am currently not fully on the other side of this. I am in this with you. And I need you to hear this from someone who's still in it. This is not our ending. Okay? This is not our ending, friend. I need you to keep going. I need you to keep going. I need you to keep going. Okay, I'm done. I need you to keep going. This is not our ending. So number 5, we're going to decide this is not our ending, and we are going to let the story continue to roll out. All right, let's recap this real quick. All right, we've reached the end of the video. So 5 moves that actually work when you are starting over financially at any age, 30, 40, 56, baby, listen, whatever age you at. If you're starting over, if you're 35 like me, starting over, you can start over. So 5 moves that actually work. Number 1, move 1 is to stop the bleeding, stop the hemorrhaging. You have to stop the bleeding before you make a plan. Triage before strategy. If somebody's just telling you, create a budget, do this, listen, you have to stop the bleeding first. Number 2, you have to grieve it and then release it. Process that you did lose it and then release that. Okay, you have to grieve it. Grief is a passage. It's not a residence. So you don't stay there, friend. Okay, you grieve it, but you don't stay there. You don't get stuck. Number 3, rebuild your foundation, not your former life. You didn't go through this to rebuild like it was. You were supposed to learn a lot out of this and rebuild differently, okay? So we're not going back to that. We are going to be better because we are rebuilding based on what we've learned, okay? All right, now. So you're going to build something the storm cannot take this time. Move number 4 is use what you know, not what you feel. Don't let your feelings be leading you. Okay, feelings are real, but at the end of the day, they are not your money manager. Your feelings are not financial advisors. Baby, they have you all kind of jacked up. Okay, move number 5 is decide that this is not the end of your story. It's not. It's not. It's not, friend. This is your material. This is the material that you need to build back better. All right. I want to let you know that you're not behind. You are rebuilding. And that is one of the most courageous things a person can do is to rebuild, but rebuild even powerfully. And that is where you are right now. All right, y'all. We talked about a lot today. And I really want to make sure that you understand that you are not by yourself. OK, we talked about starting over. OK, so if you are a person and anything in this video resonated with you, I want you to just drop the comment restart below, because I want to connect. I want to comment. I want to do all the things. I want to wrap my arms around you and recognize that we're in this thing together and that you are not by yourself. If you know there is someone else that may be in this season and maybe they haven't even shared it with you, but you can tell that they're in a restarting journey, send this to them. Okay. Let them know that you see them, that you love them, that you care for them. If you needed this, right? It could also be something you share like, hey, I'm in my restarting season. You may be too. I just want to share this with you. Because the goal is that we're not going through seasons by ourselves. We're not going through seasons in silos. We are literally helping one another. So I want to let you know that I see you. This is a season that is different for all of us, but we can and we will make it to the other side. So again, if that is you, comment restart below and we will connect in the comments. But other than that, I pray that you take these practical tips and you begin to use them in your life starting now, starting today. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. I can't wait to see you all back to the M Quad where we talk about ministry, marriage, motivation, and money. Let's see. Talk to y'all later.
When I think about His grace.